Playing Weiss Schnee is Kara Everly. Blake Belladonna is Aaron Zek. Yang Xiaolong is played by Barbara Dunkelman. Oh, hold on.
I think I speak for everyone here when I say that I love every single one of you, and that was the greatest reaction ever anticipated. Thank you. Woo!
All right. Before we get things rolling, we have something special to do, and I have to thank Schwagler because this was all his idea, okay? RTX, Barbara has been putting on RTX, and I hope you guys are having a good time. Are you having a good time?
Yeah!
There you go. Well,
shout out to Barbara. Good work,
something
Barbara.
else also happened recently, which was Barbara's birthday, and she didn't really get to celebrate it because she was putting on a party for you guys. So, hey, could you reach beneath the table, Shane, and get that thing down there? We got you a little cake and a little yellow candle. You'll have to pretend that it's lit. And I was wondering if you guys could help us sing her happy birthday. All right. Hold on, I gotta do the thing. You don't have to eat right now. You don't want to. All right, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Barbara. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you guys so much. I love you. Thank you all for being here. This is the best birthday present I could ask for. 100%.
I mean, it would have been nice to hear a happy birthday to Yang, but you know, whatever. It's cool, guys. It's all right. Wait, think on the fly.
It's not canonical. We don't know her birthday.
Yeah, what?
Her birthday's not been announced
When
yet.
is Yang's birthday? Is it coming up? Should I? Should I
Spoilers. Okay.
what?
Yeah.
No.
Flat answer.
So what'd you guys think? Awesome. Pretty cool, right? I'm glad you guys could be here. Thanks. I love you too, man. Aw.
It's all natural too. I don't know if you guys know.
Anyways, should we move on to questions?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to ask us some questions? Yeah. All right. I think there's some mics somewhere. I don't know. I've got one, not this one.
Yeah, we have some mics in the audience. If you want to line up and ask a question, if you want to ask about some stuff that we saw today or the process of making it.
The Guardians are raising their hands right there. So go there. We reserve the right to not answer your question. So be prepared.
Also, this being the main RWBY panel, let's keep it mostly story and character stuff because we do have 2 other panels that you should all go to about the technical stuff, which will pimp out the rest of the artists involved, the whole front row over there who worked on a lot of this episode. And there's also artists as well there's an art panel on Sunday, which you should go to. I see you guys. You guys are cool, man. You know who you are. Okay. Question number 1.
Hey guys, love the episode.
Thanks.
So I was wondering what let me rephrase that. The faces of the RWBY characters. Who are the girls based on?
Who are they based on?
Yeah, their faces. Yeah.
You know.
Are they based on anybody?
Wasn't it like the Powerpuff Girls plus that one they made that was purple and her name was Bunny? That was the inspiration.
Are you asking like what character they're motivated by?
Something like that. You know, like when you did RWBY.
Give me an example.
Like
Give me an example.
RWBY season 9, you did York as I think it was Mad
Oh,
or Barney
well,
or
I mean,
something like that.
Like these are. I mean, you know, this is an anime, right? I hope it's an anime. I mean, I don't know if I would want to meet a real person that looks like. Well, no, they're still pretty cute. No, I mean, they're mostly designed off of like kind of archetypal, their characteristics more than anything. Like, well, there's motivation there, but RWBY has the widest, most honest eyes. And, you know, Blake has the most narrow, trained eyes, for example. And there's stuff there that I won't talk about other than that. If you're talking about what, like, why the faces are what they are, it's essentially, you know, they're kind of what you expect them to be, but then you'll find out much more.
Thank you.
Next.
I know you got a lot of questions about the anime influences for the series, but I was wondering what real-life influences you had when you were designing the characters.
Oh, don't get me started on that. You know, I had a very basic skeleton for what this show would be. And I remember when I started the show, I started giving Miles and Carrie like anime homework. But this has gone well beyond that. After working with these people, as much as I love them, I draw a lot from reality. The resonance of this show will find its place in reality because if you understand struggles of what it means to be growing up, which I think all of you are, grown-ups or growing up, then you'll understand the characters. And there's truth to a lot of the characters, and it makes its way into even their abilities. For example, I won't go into it too much, but if you dissect a little bit about the Yellow trailer, for example, there's parts of it that were inspired off of working with Barbara and knowing her for the last 3 or so years. And
when Barbara punched Jack in the face, like at the office.
Yes,
that
exact moment. But no, in all seriousness, there's things there that I suppose we'll get into further down, and it'll probably make itself clear. But things based on feat of strength, which is something I find inspirational about Barbara. She's both strong and vulnerable. Same thing comes to the truth about characters. Erin is pretty mysterious to me, only because she's the one I know the least, and I get a lot of conjecture from Miles, if that's the right word. No, I asked Miles about Erin, and he gives me all the wrong answers.
That's not true.
And then there's Kara, who I've always seen as quite a princess. But also, there's things about Kara where day one I met her, and she was out to prove that she's there for more than we thought she was there for. And as well as things like, for example, Lindsay, I've never met a more honest and true person. And there's things about her character, she has the widest eyes.
I truly hate you, Monio.
She has the widest eyes by design because I'm a manipulative son of a bitch. Some days I don't get people, and I actually interacted with Lindsay very little early on, but I was always looking out of the corner of my eyes to see what she would do. And then I identified her to be like, yeah, she should voice RWBY. Because honestly, someone that honest, I don't understand. So I just kind of, the process of making this character is investigating, trying to figure that out. So that's the shell of what was there. It gets then filled by the person who was casted to it.
By the way, this is not all of Team RWBY at all. If you're in the audience and you worked on RWBY, can you stand up real quick, please? Seriously, there's a lot of people that worked on the show. Every single one of them is immensely talented.
Nick, Jeff, Chris, Nick's an animator. Gray has been voicing anime since I was 15 years old. Nick's a phenomenal animator. Jeff does things that I do not even understand sometimes. Chris is an animator. We have Adam, he's also an animator. Harley's an animator. Brett and Taylor, modelers. We have Caesar's a modeler. Dustin right behind him, green shirt right there with the hat. He's an animator as well. Am I missing anyone? Eileen, stand up, come on. If you all know Ayn Lee from DeviantArt, she's the first artist I contracted. She did the bulk of the character designs. I would give her my shoddy drawings, and then she would make them look good. We have pink hair over there is Austin. My least most favorite is Patrick, the concept artist. Daniel here, I loathe every day I spend with him. We got Andrian, we got Paco. Is it Paco? Yeah. Who else? I'm blind as fuck. Ben! Who else is back there? Who's next to him? Who's Dennis? Hey, what's up? Yeah, where's Sam? Where's Sam? You remember CT from seasons 9 and 10? She's she's here. I'm not saying anything about who she is, but Oh, where's Jen Brown? Jen Brown. There she is. Yeah, a voice of Carolina. Also, you probably already noticed that was Kathleen voicing Glinda Goodwitch, and Shannon McCormick, who was voicing Oz.
Talk about the very first person who talked about that first person over here.
Oh yeah, is she here?
Say hi. Introduce you.
Hey, Jen Taylor, Miss Cortana. Stand up.
Yeah, so Jen Taylor's here. That's cool. She also has a panel that you should check out later this weekend. We have to tell a quick story. So, that opening monologue that Jen did, Carrie and I recorded that with Jen over the phone. We did a conference call, and so we're geeks, okay? And we play a lot of video games, and when we were told that Jen was going to be voicing a character, we like jumped out of our skin. We were super excited, and Monty's like, we're going to be recording her tomorrow. You guys should be there for that. We're like, okay, yeah, of course. And then
and by we should be there, he meant, oh yeah, you guys should like be in and just like be in the room at the same time, you know, whatever.
And then Monty didn't show up. He had, I think he had just passed out from like a super, like, it was a rush to get something out, one of the trailers, I'm sure, but you just passed out, your body shut down and refused to let you work more. So it was Carrie and I, and we directed a lot of the actors for RWBY, but we never directed Jen Taylor before, so we're really, really excited, and we wrote it out, and we knew, you know, how we wanted it to be read, and, you know, she picks up, and we're like, oh, hey, Jen, well, we're super jazzed to meet you, yeah, cool, so we're gonna do this thing, all right, we're gonna roll a take, all right, and we do it.
Why are you Bill Clinton all of a sudden?
I mean, come on, man. She records her first take, and she's like, all right, yeah, how was that? And then like time froze, and Carrie and I looked at each other because both of us knew deep down in our hearts that was the take. Like she nailed it on the first take, but it was like, well, we have her we can't just be like, all right, thanks, bye. Like we didn't know what to do, so we were like, do it slower.
Yeah.
We were so nervous.
Yeah, I was like, now angrier. So we
We're like the worst directors.
Yeah, so.
We're sorry.
But she was great, and she did a fantastic job.
Awesome.
So we're very happy to have her on.
Lending us that credibility. I don't know what you two are worried about. Why are you guys so worried all the time?
I'm always worried. That's my secret, Monty.
Okay. Oh, we forgot to mention Jean was played by Miles.
The handsome, scraggly dude that throws up, that's me.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. Am I right?
This side?
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're doing questions.
I love the videos. I was wondering if Yang and Ruby are sisters, why do they have different last names?
Oh! You'll find out.
Okay. And just...
It will make sense.
Real quick, I was
Yes.
wondering if you would use the more traditional animation style more than just the newscast?
For what?
So there's a couple, one of the hard things about production in general is just like, especially because we're doing all these in 3D models, is anytime we have a character, we have to build them. And, which is great when it's RWBY, which is great when it's Yang, because we're going to use them in every single episode. It's not great when it's the news reporter, because now we have to build a character that's going to be on screen for 30 seconds and never again. So a lot of that stuff is actually Patrick. Stand up again, Patrick. Do it. I'm making you stand up. He will draw stuff like that, and then somebody will animate him, whether it's me or another one of the animators. So that's how we're doing like the chibi stuff with RWBY. That's how we're just doing a lot of one-off characters. So you will see more of that.
I mean, the advantage of anime in general is it's the wide scope that it can do. A lot of the initial research was into like investigating how much we could do with this and what we can get away with, and apparently it's a lot. So we're gonna cheat like a motherfucker.
I want to know, how long ago did you get the idea of RWBY?
There's like two answers to that question. You know, long answer is I've always wanted to make it. Short answer is, I don't know, last June I came up with the name and started assigning the ideas I've always had to the things I've always wanted to do. Yep.
I mean, if it's cool, I was going to say, adding to that, like, I remember almost a year ago, you came up to us in the kitchen, you were like, yo, I have this show, RWBY. We're like, all right, I'm listening, go ahead. And Monty went through, like, the whole entire narrative, everything in the world, everything that was okay in this world, what existed, what didn't, what this person was doing, who they're related to, why they're related to this person. I was like, it sounds wonderful. Come back to me in like a couple months. Cool. But yeah, Monty's had this in his head for like ever now, I think, and I'm sure you guys are the same way.
Oh yeah. It was a long narrative that we were told, and yet you got the map from a napkin made with ketchup and mustard, so
yep.
made things easy.
I just remember being at IHOP with Miles and Carrie and Monty just thinking of names for everybody, like going through lists of colors and names and just all the different combinations that you can make, and it was very exciting to be a part of.
I have nothing to add.
So, hey, real quick.
Monty talks a lot. I mean, once you get him going, he could talk about stuff that's in his head for hours and hours and hours. He seems like a quiet guy, but once you get him going, it's hard to go away very nicely. You're like, all right, Monty, I gotta get back to work on RTX. See you later. Oh, cool, yeah, okay, keep going.
I gotta say, so much of this show was while we were working on season 10, we'd be hungry, so we'd go to IHOP at 2 in the morning and just sit there for like 3 hours and just like brainstorm things and try to figure out like, okay, this and this goes there. And we had like red dots everywhere with lines and stuff. It was interesting, but it was awesome.
Yeah, lots of napkins and back of CD covers and whatever scrap of paper we could find to write this stuff on. And then, you know, I started, you could actually track, there might even be a podcast. I was kind of picking Bernie's brain. I'm like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if this, and this? And it's like I'm being very coy about it. And then there was a day where like, hey, Bernie, got an idea. And he's like, I had to say, all right, hey, Bernie, okay. Badass Red Riding-esque hood-looking character. Carries, fights wolves, giant sniper rifle scythe. She hooks the scythe on a character, and then when fires the gun and kaboom, and it fires and it just pulls it, yeah, pulls it right through the, and he's like, that's the best idea ever. First person I thought of, casting-wise, I went to Matt and I said, Barbara should play Goldilocks. And bam, he's like, that's more than appropriate. And then that just started and kept happening, and it still continues to happen.
I do hate bears, so it works out very well. I'm just kidding. I love all animals, all of them.
I was thinking it.
Who's next?
Next.
Hi, I have a question. Is there any weapon that's not gonna double as a gun in this series?
Why would you want that?
Does the gun count? No, there are some. I mean, the goons in the dust shop, whose name we're really proud of, from Dusk Till Dawn. So dumb. I mean, there's some regular weapons, but yeah, we are going to meet some characters that do have some more traditional. They're not guns.
Machine gun bra. Yeah,
more traditional. I'm gonna get more elaborate. I mean, even like Junior in the yellow trailer, I was like, all right, keep this simple. Ghetto version of a combination weapon. He's got a handful of grenades and a baseball bat. I'm like, I'm making it. I'm like, oh, this isn't interesting enough. All right, bat bazooka. And it just happens. It'll keep happening. I got some crazy ones coming. Just wait. They're much worse than the. Oh, my apologies to anyone who's had to build that sniper scythe. You know, I know it's quite a bear of a task, but yeah, it's gonna get worse.
I was going to say, going off that too, I know Monty had spoken to us earlier too about like the use of motion in RWBY and how like it's not just doubling as like one weapon has two functions. It's using that momentum in order to continue the attack. So like, I don't know, you talked about RWBY with her sniper scythe, which is pretty badass. She'll like recoil and in doing so cut off people's heads, which you saw in the trailer. And like same thing with Yang, when she's punching people, she's also shooting them in the face. And you know, it's pretty badass, dual function, yo.
And you need combination stuff to do that. It just makes sense.
Kick a combo.
The gun's a really good idea, though. We should write that down.
Hi. I was wondering, what kind of release schedule are we looking at? Like week, month, Half-Life? So...
Half-Life 3 confirmed! You guys will get the first episode when Half-Life 3 comes out, whenever that is. I'm just kidding. We'll come first. Don't worry. We have talked about, okay, yeah, we're doing weekly. The episode lengths are going to vary. Have we talked about that yet? Should we talk about it?
Secrets. There's a thing called varied consistency, where we will air them weekly, starting, was it July 18th?
Yeah.
July 18th. There's a whole lot of cool stuff happening alongside that. The first one you just saw is a big one, so it was 10 minutes. But we have varied lengths based on, well, really how good it is. Some of them,
hopefully not.
My writers, sometimes they're on and they're off. I'm kidding. But seriously, no, we make them as good as we can, and well, you'll find out, right?
Weekly, to answer your question.
So from what I've seen so far, it seems like it has a very influenced by like the magical girl genre. And I was wondering if there was anything that specifically inspired that in you.
I had no idea that was a genre. Like, is that like on Netflix? It's like magical girl, drama. Yeah, okay. Monty, do you want to?
No.
All right. I mean, we all...
Yes and no. I honestly haven't watched many magical stuff. I started watching Vivid Dread the other day. I'm like, whoa, this is ridiculous. I've never been... I mean, I appreciate a lot of those, but really I just think, I mean, why do we have to be pinned to any genre? Can't we just do our own thing? And we kind of are, so, you know, fuck all of that.
So what you're saying is it's going to go drama, magical girl, RWBY in Netflix genres. That's what it's going to do.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's RWBY, drama, magical girl.
There we go.
How much bickering went into the drawings for the red trailer?
What? Did you say how much diddling?
Bickering. Sorry. No, bickering.
How much what?
Bickering.
Bickering.
Like, you know, fighting with each other. Like, no, I don't like that.
Into what?
Drawing
into
the red
the diddling?
trailer. No. The red trailer, you know, the
Bickering
thing
into the... Oh. Red trailer? No, red trailer was just me to start with. I mean, the first 4 trailers were very, like, off to the side of the show. A show like this needs a lot of lead up. The assets that get built, which are about 1 million times better than the trailers. You notice we have airships and sets and these beautiful schools and vistas and trees. I couldn't do that. So in the months that I was making, say, the white trailer and the black trailer and the yellow trailer, it was just me and Shane. And even the red trailer I did right after RWBY 10, and it was just me by myself. So, you know, I just put kind of our best ugly foot forward for the trailers, because like they're good, but they're not as good as the show, and you have to thank the rest of the team for the show.
Hi. Monty, you're pretty specific with like how you try to flesh out characters with their fighting styles. Are there certain elements that you try to really bring out with each character and their certain weapon and the way they fight?
Yeah.
Cool.
God, I could go on forever about this stuff, but a lot of it's the momentum stuff. There's even like hints of their past, say, uncertainty or confidence based on who they are. Like if you really think about the character themselves, you know, Yang dives headfirst in anything without thinking. RWBY, she's actually kind of remedial. Like she relies a lot more on her weapon than anything else. It's like if you think back, it is a lot of good serendipitous coincidence, but like the red trailer is a little bit out of character because we didn't have a character. I didn't really investigate it as much. So it's really more, red trailer was a weapon resume. So a lot of who she is her weapon. And maybe the path for her in this show is to find out who she is without her weapon. Because, I mean, you shouldn't be as good as your tool.
Hi, will there be any backstory like with each character, RWBY and the rest?
No, they were born today.
Well, I mean, like with Red versus Blue, like how it went back and really you got to see the freelancers. Yes, thank you. And it really helped you connect with Agent Washington.
Yeah.
And like, will that come into effect for RWBY, and that way you can connect with the main characters?
Yo, man, I got a story for you. But I can't tell it right now. But it does motivate a lot of things. And it's funny, it's another serendipitous thing. You're not going to remember this anyways, because it'll come like years from now. And it's based on like some really unique circumstance. I came up with a character that's a certain character's mother. I came up with a character that's a certain character's father. And via design, it determined their eye color. And it was like, well, I've got a 15, 17-year history of a character that may or may not still exist that we'll discover much farther down the line. That's about as unvague as I can be.
Okay, thank you.
Also, no spoilers on whether or not there'll be more than one season, apparently.
Hey, by the way, guys, love the episode. It's amazing. Love what you guys do. Is there any one specific thing that you found was your favorite thing to do throughout this series?
Grab Jack's balls.
I just hope you washed your hands. That's all I have to say. You don't know where those have been. Don't
There's
touch
gonna be
those.
hair growing on them.
I don't want to follow that. Mine would probably be all our late night talks that Monty, Miles, and I had. Just like getting everything sorted out and arguing with each other about who's doing this and who's doing what. You know, it's just like but a lot of times it was just us hanging out in our conference room at the office, just like sitting there for hours, just going like, okay, what if this person did this? Nah, that's not good. What if this person did this? Okay, that's good. Now let's get this with this. So I know I always like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, writing with Carrie was pretty fantastic because it was shut up. Writing with Carrie was cool. I've been writing for a little while now, which is weird to say. But yeah, so that was cool. I was doing RWBY 10 stuff, but I never really wrote in collaboration with somebody. I would write things and then present it to like Matt or Bernie. They'd give notes and then go back and revise it. But I always did it by myself. And when I was in college taking screenwriting courses, if I ever tried to write something with somebody, it was always me going, yeah, that's a good idea, but maybe we don't do that. Like, I don't know, I just didn't work very well with other people until I met this dude, and it would just like, we would get off work, and then we'd go over to his apartment, and we'd play Minecraft for about half an hour, and then we'd drink a lot of soda, and then we would sit around going, okay, she's like this, he's like that. Yeah! And then we would write it, and then we'd type it out, and then we'd look at it and be like, that's not crap, all right!
I'm actually worried about
cool.
how often they hang out.
What's that?
I'm a little worried about how often y'all hang out.
What are you worried about?
This side of the table's just fine right now.
Yeah, we're doing
I was
good.
gonna say Carrie is like the Gavin to my Michael, so I understand. If you want to hang out, we'll chill. We'll chill away from that.
What are we talking about?
What's your favorite part? What's your favorite part about working on this?
Experimentations.
Shay knew everyone. My favorite part is all you guys. You the best. You the best.
Thanks, guys. You rock.
I also just want to add to that, seeing the reaction from the show and just the trailers that have been seen, the cosplays, the art, everything you guys have been doing is like, we look at it every day and we like print stuff out and we hang it around the office. It's really amazing, so keep it up.
It's true. Barbara's come into like our section of the office several times. Our team and ours like, yo, you see this shit? And I'm like, whoa, who's cosplaying? Oh, fucking nice. So then like all day, Barbara just goes around the office. She's like, you see this shit? You see this shit? And we're like, yeah, it's incredible. Thank you. It's badass.
All right, we got 5 minutes. Aww.
As co-director of RTX, I will allow this to go over a couple minutes.
Oh, okay. Hey. Oh. Okay, gotcha. All right, next question.
All right, then if we're extending that, I'm taking all the last questions. First off, happy birthday, Barbara.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And based on what I saw, I guess like the dust stuff is like what makes the weapon the best weapon, or like how the weapon works. And with the chick in the helicopter, it looked like she didn't have a weapon. So did she just snort dust and get the power?
I can't even. Never mind. I don't.
I'm gonna take that as a yes.
What?
Do you want to say it? Okay. So, dust is a very big topic.
Spent a lot of time.
We spent a lot of time on it. It is essentially our magic. We don't want to use the word magic. That was a very big deal. Yeah. Was like, this is not magic. This is dust.
Well, good job.
Yeah, I don't want. I don't believe in magic. I mean, we make magic, so no. But we say magic because I don't have that 20-minute conversation on what magic means to me. So, you know, but the word dust itself has a lot of meaning to the show. I mean, it's in the intro. It's also in a lot of the story, which became appropriate. Actually, this brings me back to like the Jen Taylor intro talking about dust and its origins. It put a lot of backstory there that I didn't have, and via some conversations, I remember actually getting a lot of information my way, which I just relayed to Jen because I was just kind of telephoning the history of dust and what it means, and it's like that just lended some credibility to the story, which it just happened on its own.
Yeah, I mean, one thing just to kind of to try and answer your question a little bit is that they use dust in their weapons, but they don't have to use a weapon to use dust. There's going to be very different ways for people to use it, and that's going to come into play later. So if you don't say weapon, yes, they're injecting it between their toes. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, no, you can kind of pick up on some things in the Blake trailer as well. Well, I was going to say when you rewatch this episode, but that'll be in a little while. But no, if you look closely, you can see you can kind of see where it's coming from. Anyways, but yes, there are many applications of dust.
Things glow.
Ah.
Next.
So you guys have like a dick ton of weapons that you've made up and all that stuff. So like, what was your favorite weapon to come up with?
How many do you think a dick ton is? I'm just curious.
It's in between, let's say, a tiny bit and a fuck ton.
That's the most vague answer ever. That's vaguer than Monty.
By the way, it's good to see you again. I like the gun the best. I think that's our best.
Nice Whomper hat.
Was that Nick? Was that Nick?
He gets it.
Oh.
He gets it. Just you two. That's it.
Oh, okay. Oh, what was the favorite weapon to come up with? You haven't seen it yet.
But you're gonna.
Well, the scythe is actually one of my, still is one of my favorites, but I do like coming up with more. So yeah, there's a lot of weapons.
I know you guys talked about how you cast the RWBY, the voice actresses, but what influenced you guys to actually host the villains? Like, we know that Jack played the main villain in the Yellow trailer. Is there any specific reason why you chose Jack out of all of them?
Because Jack sucks. No. Kara told me to say that. I love Jack. What do you... I like... you know, sometimes it just comes... I mean, if you go watch RWBY, sometimes it's just, hey, go in the booth. You know, sometimes we need a character. And honestly, I'd rather use Jack for a better reason down the line, but we had someone else casted as Jack's character at one point, but we realized they're too important for this character. But that being said, we do have other characters for plenty of people.
Could I give a clue?
What?
Could I give a clue as to who that person was?
Sure.
It's terrible. Good Lord. The original audio for that trailer was ridiculous.
Yeah. I was going to say, I know for a fact you guys have audio of Gavin where she's like squeezing his balls and there's like 60 takes of him going, in like different ways.
and having heard how good it was, we were like, I have a better character for that.
We actually wrote a line in the trailer that didn't make it in, but when he was voicing Junior, we had a line where Yang's walking up to him and he's on the floor, crap walking back. He goes, "You have to stop being terrible." But yeah, so that was the thing. Well, speaking of villains, real quick, I don't know if it got said, but Gray, stand up. The man in the sweet hat.
Gray has been voicing in animes since I was probably 13 years old. Gray, what have you been? You've been in Tekken, Rurouni Kenshin, Guyver, Pumpkin Scissors. Holy shit, lots of things. Yeah. And he played Torchwick at the beginning of the trailer, which, man, that's a sexy voice. But also does our editing, which is phenomenal. We have a host of talented people here.
Hey guys, we're going to take 2 more questions, and then I think we have one more thing to show.
Okay.
Sorry if I ruined that from those guys telling you that.
It's called building suspense. It's fine.
Hello. We did it for several months.
I have a big fucking head. All right.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Ladies, when you got in the
Ladies.
booth,
Oh, because I'm the girl.
did you have an idea of what the character would sound like based on the description that Miles, Monty, or Carrie gave you, or did they tell you when you got in there?
The way they described Yang to me was that she's a big sister, and she's the kind of person who would teach someone how to swim by pushing them in the water. And I feel like that's a really good description of Yang. They said essentially they have the character kind of thought after me, so they're just like, we just want you to play you, essentially. So I think I could do that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I have had the hardest time figuring Blake out because y'all don't get to see too much of her, and because of that, I have to make her still kind of relatable, but not flat. Because they talk to me, they're like, okay, we want you to do something like Daria. Do y'all know who Daria is? Is that your time? Just kind of whatever, and it didn't read too well, so I went in a couple of times actually to re-record some things, and finally got something that worked really well, and I'm really excited for y'all to see everything. But yeah, no, I've had just a hell of a time to figure out how to present her to you because I want to do the best that I can, and that's what you got.
You're doing a good job so far.
Great.
And wait. We haven't all talked. Calm down, guys.
Well, when I was described Weiss's character, basically, it's a lot like me as far as being nice, but can also be a little bit bitchy, as you know, with the ice cream knocking out of, which I'll do, but I'll give you a hug after. So that's a lot of kind of, how Weiss acts. And Monty and... You can't need a hug, you're right, Lindsay. You cannot do that. But you can, anyway, but Miles and Carrie and Monty are completely awesome whenever you're in the recording booth. I mean, they give amazing direction. And, I just think that we need to give them all a hand because we couldn't have done any of this without them.
The earliest time that we talked about RWBY was again in the kitchen with Monty, where he's like, sup, I got this show coming out called RWBY, I want you to do it. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But I don't know, the way he described it was totally different from reading in the script too, because like he had said in the trailer, she's kicking ass and taking names, and she's like, oh, fuck you wolves, boo. But upon reading the script, there's a whole other level to it. There's a lot of dimensions, and RWBY obviously is young. She's a little sister, so there's a whole dynamic there, and there's innocence. And it's actually pretty cool because it seems like, from what I've read also, she doesn't fear death, but it's like almost in a little kid way too. You just don't think about it. So that's why she's okay with being so cool and badass. She's like, oh, whatever, you can't touch me. Come on, I'm RWBY, But yeah, that was the earliest that I even thought about it, I guess. And, I was like, what does a kid sound like? Higher pitched than I am. Okay, cool. But yeah.
Cool, thank you.
One of the things I began noting about having these characters written, like for example we cast Barbara as Barbara. It's no small thing to say you cast Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. It just feels appropriate, so it makes sense. But I also am big on the idea that people should also be able to expand artistically. So if you go look at the line in front of the Yang trailer, people are not one-sided, people are not box-shaped, is to say that we do categorize people, but I also want to give people the chance to be more than what we expect of them. So you can expect a lot of growth for these characters as they grow into the characters. Same for Aaron. I spoke about it earlier. It's like we're kind of figuring it out, but one of my least favorite things about the current trend in storytelling these days is the investment for a character needs to be right up front, and I think there'd be more weight to her character if you realize you love her 20 episodes in, and then it's one of those things that's always been there, and the thread for it is very long and has a lot more weight to it. And same goes for Kara, is more about just there's this weird similar difference between the black and the white character, where there's a surface level thing, and then there's an inner level thing. And then, a lot of the motivation for RWBY herself honestly comes from the innocence. So it's all there, but it takes time to discover it, and sometimes it'll be up front.
Okay. All right, we've got one last question, and then we're going to show one more thing.
Hi, hey there. As a current animation student, I have to say I love your work, and it's a big inspiration, and I could go here for hours asking you technical questions, but I'm not going to do that.
Come to the panel tomorrow.
Yeah, I will be there. Don't worry about that. So I think I'll have to say, as for all the characters and weapon combos that we've seen, who's been your favorite to animate? And I say favorite in a loose word, since I know that animation can be fun sometimes. Yeah.
Favorite to animate varies based on what time of day it is, or how deep we are into production. I'm big on character animation. You know.
He likes to animate Yang very late at night.
The thing I'm big on is integrating, the movements into their character, and not to separate dialogue from action. And I'm very big on, all their movements to be motivated by who they are. So, you could, having an animator's eye, you could go in and dissect, and it's fun too. That's something I do a lot, is dissect other people's work and say, oh, this is why they moved that way, and this is why they moved in that. Because animation is so very specific. You're down to the 30th of a second of what they would do. And then you can even have foresight on what they would do, because you're months ahead on their motivation in that scene, and you're going over it a lot. All of our animators do that every day. It's a discussion about, would they do this, would they do that, and we integrate every branch of the team into that conversation as often as we can, and as many of the people as we can, to our own detriment some days, but the product is better for it.
Cool, thank you. And also, I love the little crow blackbird teaser thing that you threw in all the promos.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, sure you don't.
No meaning there, or insinuation.
So, you guys want to see one more cool thing? Okay.
Drive. You drive. You guys like anime, right? Well, it isn't an anime without an anime intro.